Hello everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever you watch this video, I hope you all are doing well. My name is David, and what we're going to be talking about on this fragrance video today is a new series I am doing on the channel, which I am calling The Notes. And basically, it's like the name implies here. We are solely going to be focused on a note from that fragrance, and today's note is the note of leather. I feel like these fragrances over here do an excellent job representing that leather note. And I'm going to be actually spraying these on a handy dandy tester strip today. With this series, I am going to be focusing on full bottles from my collection. I'm not going to be having any samples on here. And then also too, I am focusing on the notes from the note breakdown, which is from the brand. I'm not focused on a chord. So what I mean by that is sometimes there's chords in fragrances, but it's not actually a note in that fragrance. So, for example, you got the note of oud. That could be an accord in a fragrance, but there's not oud in the fragrance, okay? And it's just how people can smell fragrances and what they get from it. Just wanted to specify that. I am actually focused on the note from the official note breakdown here, all right? Make sure to hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel. If you have not yet, we make fragrance and fitness content over here on this channel, and I would love to have you part of this community. Now, I will be right back right after the intro. First one on the list here for today is from the house of Tom Ford, and it is Tom Ford's Ombre Leather. This one here, I could have went with the Parfum, but I am going with this. And as of now, from all the Tom Fords I smelled, this and Costa Azura are my two favorites, and it's not even close, I will say. This one does wonders for me in the fall and winter time, and that's why I really wanted to focus on the leather note today, because right now we are currently in the winter time, and I feel like in the summer and the spring, there are good fresh leather notes, but in my opinion, I usually gravitate towards those leather fragrances in the fall, in the winter. I want something kind of making me feel confident, and I will say Ombre Leather does a great job at that. It kind of reminds me of a guy with a black leather jacket sitting at the bar, drinking some whiskey with one ice cube in there, enjoying his time, having a great time, and he's just confident. He's going out there, ruling the world, and nobody can get in his way, I guess you could say. All right, let's give this one a spray here on my handy-dandy tester strip. There we go. That was a nice spray. I'm going to go ahead and put it to the side here. Put it up. All right. And yeah, man. Leather, white florals, getting some warm spice, animalic tones of this one as well. Amber in this too, a little earthy and smoky overall to my nose. And for this one here, just had to go in for another waft. That's how much I like this one. I get 12 plus hours on performance. It's even longer off clothes, I will say. Off clothes, it's eternal. I'm smelling it to the next day. Like, I'll go to sleep, have this on my skin, and then the next day I'm smelling it on my pillow. That's how beastly this performance is, at least for me. Projection, I would say 3 to 4 feet with probably the 7 to 8 hour mark. And then after that, it's probably 1 to 2, if I remember right, 1 to 2 feet. Overall, the performance, eternal. Projection, excellent in my opinion. And this is a very wearable leather. I know leather can be hard to wear sometimes, but this leather fragrance from the house of Tom Ford, Ombre Leather, does an excellent job to appeal to the masses. I mean, it's one of the most popular fragrances from the brand if you look at the sales, and it makes sense. And this would be one I would wear on a date night. I think it's very sexy, very alluring, and going to be great for a night out with somebody else. And I will say you just got to dial back your sprays. If, in my opinion, if you're going on a date, you're going to spray it on, then just be mindful of the sprays. It can be very alluring, very sexy, very mysterious. But if you're going out a night on the town, up the sprays, okay? and it's going to do beastly for you, going to project, going to get you some compliments. At least for me it does, okay? I always want to mention that. Fragrances work differently off everybody's skin, but for me, this is my experience with it, and Ombre Leather does not let me down in this department. So, first fragrance in this new series, the notes, is Tom Ford Ombre Leather here. Just want to give it one more smell. And wanted to mention also too, the note breakdown of this fragrance here. So you got some cardamom, you got leather, of course, jasmine, amber. Those are a few. I'll put the rest of the notes on the screen for you. But overall, if I'm gravitating somebody towards a leather fragrance that's new to leather fragrances, I would always recommend Tom Ford Ombre Leather. Next one we're going to be talking about is from the House of Penhaligons, and it is Halfeti. Now, I do not have Halfeti leather. That would have been a perfect one to put in this. I only have the original Halfeti. I don't have Halfeti cedar as well. Got the little bow tie on here. And I just wore this the other day, and this one here is going to be your grown man. It reminds me of somebody that's sophisticated, well-rounded, and has a pocket watch and is going to pull it out. Very grown-up type of fragrance here. I will say, out of all three of these fragrances, the Tom Ford is going to be one that's going to be more youthful, okay? But the Penhaligons and the John Varvatos, those are going to be more for your middle-aged guys and older. But the Penhaligons one here, Halfeti, oh man, it is just something to behold. Like, what I mean by that is, when I first smelled this, when I got my nose on it, this was a scent that I knew from first rip, I'm liking this. I am going to like this a lot. So let's go ahead and spray it on this tester strip here. There we go. Put the thing down. Well, I dropped the tester strip. Let's go ahead and give it a spray. Why I just sprayed my whole hand. Let's go ahead and put the cap on. All right, let's go in for a whiff. Man, this tester strip does not do this one justice. Same with Ombre Leather, I will say. I should have sprayed it on my skin, but this one off my skin, I'm gonna get more green, more aromatics. It's woody, of course, warm spice, and overall, you're gonna get some rose in this one too. A little sweetness and a little oud, and then you got leather as well. That's an accord in this scent. But overall, this scent here, oh my gosh, I just never get tired of smelling this one. This one is one that's a daily wear, and it doesn't matter if you're in an office, going on a date, going out on a night on a town, got a meeting, anything. This is a very versatile scent overall. Going to go into some notes of this fragrance here. And you got some cypress leaf, saffron, cardamom. You got rose in this. In the base, you got oud, cedar, leather, amber. Those are a few notes. This one here, though, like I mentioned, is going to be somebody dressed up in a tux, or somebody in business casual, or dressed up to go out. Overall, this can hit any scenario. And in my opinion, this is 12 plus hours again, off skin. The projection, I would say about 3 feet throughout the lifespan of the fragrance until the deep dry down. And I will say, when I wore this the other day, it wasn't until the 14th or 15th hour this really got close to the skin for me. And overall, if you want something that has that deep depth but is also very versatile, is going to get you some compliments, and as a wearable leather, I would highly recommend Penhaligon's Halfeti. I definitely need to check out Halfeti Leather, and I need to check out Halfeti Cedar. But for right now, I got the very first one from that line, and I'm very happy with it. I had to pull it out the other day and give it wears, because around this time, this fragrance, I feel like, is very well, like, works very well. Last but not least is John Varvatos. And this is actually my bottle here. This bottle, very first one I ever got. I remember going to the mall when I was in college. I lived in the town, basically, where I went to college at. And I walked to the mall and I walked back, but I was like, man, this is kind of when I was getting back into fragrances. I already had Dior Sauvage, I already had the Y, And I was like, I want something different. Wanted to try out things. So I went to that mall, tried it out. The store's long gone by now. And I saw this. I never seen it before. And the lever kind of on the front, the lever strap, kind of caught my attention. I sprayed it on. And I paid full retail for this. This was before I knew discounters and everything. And I sprayed it on. And I was like, this is exactly what I was looking for. Was John Varvatos here. And man, very different to what I smelled before, and that's why I really gravitated towards this one. And let's go ahead and spray this one on a tester strip. There we go. Lid back on that one. Alrighty. So this one here, you got leather in the forefront, of course, amber, woods, animalic, fresh spice, I will say. Sweet as well with this one here. And I will say for a hot second, this was my daily wear scent. This was my signature scent. The only bad thing about these John Varvatos fragrances is the performance, of course. But for the OG Varvatos off my skin, I get about 6-7 hours. The projection's not the best. I will say throughout the first 3 hours, I get about 2 to 3 feet. And then after that third hour, very close skin scent. You're getting wafts of it after that point. But this one is for somebody that wants to feel sophisticated, kind of like the Halfeti here. Something that wants to give you a different feel than what you're used to. And I will say that leather note in this doesn't overbear you. It doesn't, like, I'm smelling a lot of other things in this fragrance. The leather note is there, but I get a lot of other notes in that fragrance. That's what I'm trying to say here. And I get some greenness out of this one too as well. I'm going to go into some notes real quick on John Varvatos here. And basically, this fragrance, for somebody middle-aged and older, would be an excellent pickup. Excellent pickup. Leather, amber. You got some dates, you got some fir balsam, you got some styrax, and hay, of course. Overall, this one, when I was in my college days, really surprised me. You know, when you think of college, you think of stuff bubblegummy, sweet, youthful, but everybody's nose is different. And when I had a special occasion or something like that, I would always pull this one out. And it really got me into the brand more. I was like, man, I really want to try out some other John Varvatos fragrances. So, got to give it that. And a lot of people talk about vintage, but I think Varvatos is better than vintage in my opinion. But what what are you gonna tell me? I think vintage is really great, but the OG Varvatos does the job for me, and I've always gravitated towards that one. So the end out this video today is John Varvatos. John Varvatos. Let me know in the comments down below your leather fragrance, your go-to, what your favorite one is, and why. Very curious to hear. And thank you for sticking this long throughout the video with me. Greatly appreciate your support. Your views mean a lot to me. And with all that being said, I will see you all in the next video.